That is a classic anime, no, the classic YouTube, you do the anime stuff now. But yeah, classic, you're gonna start live streaming, you think you're live, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't think anyone's hearing me. You see the chat like, oh, no one's saying anything. Yeah, here we go, yeah. Okay, hello everyone, it's time for 2025 winter live stream, discussing all the animes coming next season, right? The previews, discussing the trailers of the mangas or whatever, right? If I've read them and so on. And of course, generally, just like what would be good, what would be bad, and so forth, right? And yeah, I see this twice now. So maybe if you're coming back, watching this after it's been live, it might be a double tape. Because I started recording it to YouTube, but it wasn't streaming it. Classic, man, yeah. The first 2 minutes being like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. But now we're live. So, we're gonna discuss anime today. Next week, we Happy New Year, so on. I think I focus more on video games. I'm gonna do like a top 10 of both worst and the best. Lots have happened this year in video industry. But also a top 10 anime coming as well, right? But let me see again now. Now I'm in paranoid. Sorry, I'm in paranoid. I see the sound is correct because now I've done it twice now. Yeah, my voice good. Okay, that's good. So it seems to work fine, right? This and like that. Yeah, there we go. That is fine. So this is like you have to be the paranoid when you do live streaming. But anyway, what we're doing now is we're gonna go down the popularity list, right? So we're using the live chart, and we're gonna follow. Basically, this is the most popular anime then, 6 days from now. Then, Soul Leveling season 2, and then we're gonna go down, right? You know, the list. RC will be number 2 and so forth, right? And we discuss each anime, of course. But there's always some animes so they've been adding or whatever, right? So. There we go. That's some animes. Okay. Solo Leveling then. Of course, we'll watch this anime. I have seen the courses of one, right? Look at my channel, reacted to full anime. It's a pretty good anime. I will say though, not to be like a hater or anything, but I think it is a little bit like the most popular anime next season. I mean, I like it. I like it. But I didn't think it was the best anime of this year. But basically, you know, it isn't an Isekai, right? But it's like this weird thing where, like, they can suddenly go and do, like, whatever, fighting, you know, demons or whatever, right? On Earth-ish, kinda. But not really, right? Because they do actually still enter the portals. So it's arguably an Isekai, right? But he kinda goes back home, of course, after per adventure. But they can enter portals, and they fight some monsters, right? They get leveled up. About Earth again. But it's kind of like, you know, suddenly the world has a lot of dungeons you can fight in, right? And of course the main character is soloing everything, right? And he's badass, and in the end he kind of got the whole shadow thing. So that's what this is called, like the shadow arise now, right? Because now in the end of last season he kind of acquired like the shadow necromancer monarchy kind of power, right? And that was cool though. Don't get me wrong. I think the ending was the best part of that season, right? Kind of the last episode of course when he kind of fought the Red Knight and he got the power up, and so it does feel like Season 2 to me, even though I keep saying it, I don't think it's the best anime this year, but I think it's one of the better animes. I do think this might be the best part of it, because now he just kind of got the coolest powers, right? And the build up to that wasn't as interesting as the end, so it did end on a high note, so to speak. So I'm excited for it, and it will probably be one of the better animes again next season, right? But honestly, I do wonder a little bit why this anime is so incredibly popular, because here it's most popular anime next year, which I find a little bit strange, honestly. Because the next anime, right, is of course R0. You know how much I love R0. This are getting in R0. Where's this blue-haired girl? This joke never bored of that. So R0, of course, this is I think one of the best animes ever made, right? So maybe I'm biased, whatever. But yeah, obviously I love R0. I actually ordered a bunch of R0 figures. We see if they happen to arrive. They probably will arrive before the anime edit list. But yeah, R0 is amazing. I would say it's arguably the best anime ever made, right? Arguably. It is probably the best time to be anime, at least. I think that, you know, I like these 9X things. When people have this, like, you know, I made a video about that myself 3 years ago. Where it's like 9 squares, like 3x, 3x, right? And you have, like, these are my favorite animes, whatever. Because in any anime, or gaming, or whatnot, right? Books or movies, whatever. I don't think we have, like, the perfect anime, right? I don't think we have the perfect movie or the game, right? And especially, even more so probably with video games, it is kind of like, well, this is the best RTS game. I would say it's StarCraft, like, or this is the best role-playing game, whatever. Yeah, they don't have like oh, this is the best of everything, like with different genres. And but I think is probably easily the best, like time traveling anime. When you have like some kind of time rules, then I think that Zero is the best anime of all time, easily, like super easily. And when it comes to Isekai, it also is probably arguably the best anime, right? But I love like anime like Konosuba, Miscellaneous or someone, right? But for example, Konosuba is pure comedy. That's kind of what I mean, because I think that Konosuba is arguably the best anime as well, right? But it's a comedy anime. They're so different genres, right? They're both isekai per se, but they're very different in the actual context of what happens, right? But I do think Konosuba is probably Konosuba is the best comedy isekai by far. And most isekai tend to be comedy, right? Or at least have a lot of jokes in them. So, but whatever, I want to say here, obviously a series, I think it's one of the best anime of all time. I'm excited to see what happens, right? And if you haven't followed yet, then I'm not gonna spoil the storyline, but what happened this season was that they only did 8 episodes, and now they're doing another 8. So I believe it's 8 plus 8, right? So there's slightly more than a normal season, but it's gonna start immediately. I think it's back in February. So let's see, I think it says down here. Here it is. Yeah, 37 days. So it starts, like this anime starts in 6 days, right? Yeah. So it starts like a month later, right? Like early February instead. So it's a little bit weird. That always is kind of weird. But, so it's basically still just third season, right? So it's like second core. So that's kind of strange per se, though. But whatever. It is what it is. And I think we also have had... I think they haven't officially announced it, but they have said that they're gonna have more series this year, like another, like which might be called Core 2 then, or Season 4. But I believe they are calling it Core 2, like Season 3 Core 2. This is not Core 2 then, so there's gonna be more episodes, I think. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a lot about it, rumors, and that's probably gonna air in like either summer or fall then. But don't quote me on that. But I heard a lot about that. But it really is like a weird thing, right? Where you're like, well, they're claiming this thing and they're saying that thing, but whatever. Arifurata, one of the worst isekais ever made. It's so incredibly bad. I watched episode 1 though. Can't make fun of it with the bunny ass scenes, yeah. So Arifurata is an insanely bad anime, right? Yeah, I made fun of it many times, but it's like, how can I describe it? First of all, episode 1, right, is so insanely bad. It might have the worst episode 1 of all anime. It's definitely top 10 of like worst anime of all time. Episode 1, it's so insanely bad. The CGI for starting the whole. It's the most cliche storyline with the main character, right, has the bad power of synergy, and then he actually is the best power because he can do something weird with it. And then I think he has a really weak harem. Honestly, he has a harem, of course. But the character in the harem is like, yeah, Shia, the bunny girl, is the best character, but then he has, Pervy Dragon and so on. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's so terrible. And episode 1, I said episode 1 of this season 3 here, it looks insanely bad again. It has still frames, like 10-minute still frames, and then it's like 5 minutes of the bunny girls fighting, and it's really bad CGI, and then suddenly they do this introduction scene, and it's really good animated. So it's always the quality of the anime is really, really bad too. Like, it's really bad. But that's the again. But honestly, I feel like if you like the first anime, if you accept that it's terrible CGI episode 1, and you still hit season 3, you probably don't care anymore. It's so ugly, but yeah, it's incredibly ugly. But yeah, it's a kind of, I never understood why it's popular. I get it. This though, it's a really good, not an isekai, right, but the inside a video game, Shangri-La, yeah, which is pretty good. I was sitting here, just immediately here, bam, like that, because that anime though is very copyright risk, right. As a side note, right, that anime was one of the animes that like 40-30 YouTubers got strikes for earlier this year. Yeah, like. I thought about, one of my YouTube friends, Yabayo Rockly, right? He got strikes for that, and a lot of people got strikes for that anime. So you can't talk about it really, and that's the reason why I'm not reacting or reviewing it. But obviously, like if I know that like 30 people got strike for that anime, it's absolutely a no. Doesn't matter how good it is, right? It's just like if everyone gets a strike for talking about it, why should you do it, right? That's unfortunate, but it's a good anime. It's a really good anime, right? the main character plays his virtual MMORPG, right? Into the world, so it's kind of Isekai-ish, right, in the sense, right? And it's just kind of, it's good, good fantasy, so to speak. Cool fighting scenes, cool abilities, with of course the layer of it being a game, so they have level up and so on, right? But it is an anime that the company behind it is like Scorched Earth, Everon, earlier this year. But it was not an anime that I actually really like. This actually is one of the best anime that I've seen in this context, and it's so weird too. Yeah, this is so funny, and I just wanna make it up here. Let's come big Mondo here. This anime is so good. This anime is like crazy good. Like, it's so weird. It is so fantastically weird how good this anime is. Right? Like, I have to say a bit. I'm gonna go in a trailer perhaps, but it's just like a weird anime. I don't want to show it. It is such a weird anime, but if I can find like a trailer. This anime is risky, man. I got like community. Yeah, when I did one of these animes, I remember I did one of the anime. It's the one, and YouTube gave me like not like a strike, but like a community warning for this anime. So this anime is crazy. But so I can find a scene here that isn't as insane. They're pushing the window. The Twilight Zone is obviously a Superman reference. Here we go. But this is hopefully fine enough. This anime is crazy, man. Yeah, they are staring through the window. That's Christ. But seriously, this anime, right? 100 girlfriend that really loves you. It's actually one of the best anime I've ever seen, right? Like, seriously, it is an amazing. I'm laughing at seeing this image here. This anime is like fantastically good. Like, it's seriously insanely good. Like I said, right? This anime, I've seen like every horror anime. I've seen like probably 500 horror animes, probably more than that, right? Because of reach purpose, plot armor, right there, so on. Get the plot going. But I've seen like all these horror animes. This is one of the best ones. This is easily the top 10 horror animes. It may be one of the best horror anime of all time. But obviously Tenshin Moyo, man, old school. But yeah, but like this anime is so good because this one thing is weird, like it's crazy. Like the jokes are just insane. This anime is way more pushing the boundary every episode. The characters are way crazier, but also the animation of the anime is just godlike. This anime got like godlike animation. You're like, what the hell? This anime got like better animation than the best shonen fight scenes. You're like, what is happening? You're like shocked how good it is. And there's better fourth wall jokes. And genuinely, this is one of the funniest horror anime of its year. Yeah, it's so good. Like, I am super excited for next season. This anime is like too good to be true for a horror anime because it's pure horror anime. Otherwise, pure horror animes with like no other storyline, it's no like fighting dragons or whatever, tend to be kind of meh, right? Tend to be very mid. I think most good horror animes aren't horror only, right? Most good horror animes is something like where an Isekai and it's a great storyline, right? And it also happens to be a horror, right? Those are the better horror animes usually. But this anime is just really crazy. So it's just like, no, this anime is just insane. it's just bonkers. It is so bonkers. But I think first and foremost, yeah, it is really weird is how that anime has so insanely good, how to say it, like animation, if anything. But yeah, but I would say it's funny though. But the anime is so risky. It's so weird, right? Like, it's so many weird scenes that I'm a little bit afraid of watching it though. Because yeah, last season I got, like I said, like community warnings of YouTube, like it's too sexy. It's too weird. I'll get a trailer now where like, but it's of course wholesome horror anime. But it certainly has a lot of really weird scenes. Like this in here, but that's why it looks like a hem too. Yeah, like the drawing their faces are good too. This in here, they're getting into that like really weird like. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But hello, SB555. Anyway, we have 100 girlfriends. We gotta go back now to the main list, everyone. Press button D. Yeah. I just want to say how much I love the anime. But also, 100 girlfriend. Probably, I guess, one of the best horror anime I've seen. And honestly, like, it's way too well animated for being what it is. Like, just way too animated. That's my scene's weirder. Dear. Yeah, that's better. Put it like that. But yeah. I'm not old, so no, not really. No, this anime is interesting. Isekai. Poster Carry 2. And this anime is interesting because it's actually one of the most popular, well-selling novels. Yeah, I remember it aired season 1 here, and I was surprised how actually popular the anime was. And I mean, so it was anime perhaps, not maybe anime, but actually, light novel bias. I believe it was the second most sold light novel after Slime that year. So this actually probably one of the most popular animes. But I don't know, I never really got into it. Started watching it, I find it incredibly slow, right? So there's animes where not too much happens. It's an HD warning sign. No, but it's like one of those weird animes where you kind of like, they have to live in this like typical courting. I think also it's very predictable too. Yeah, I don't know. I just never got into it because it's like a mystery, but you can kind of guess how everyone's gonna act anyway, right? So I don't know. I don't understand why it's so popular, but maybe I will admit that I didn't watch like the full season. I will admit that I kind of stopped after a few episodes. I was like, nah, not for me. Maybe it gets way more intriguing later on. Otherwise, I like historical animes, but it's certainly also much more popular between female readers, right? So different kind of story, so to speak. But yeah, probably very popular this season. But I'm not gonna watch it because I just couldn't really get into the first season. Here we go. This is probably the most popular, of course, anime coming this season, right? From new animes completely. Sakamoto Days. Yeah, this is probably the most. Yeah, this is easily the most popular new anime. The other ones were, of course, sequels, right? Sakamoto Days, right, is an anime about an old hitman. See him here, Tauro, and he's kind of retired hitman, right? He's gonna be a bad guy anymore. And then, of course, his old life shall come back to haunt him, right? To fight old assassins was trying to run like a convenience store. So this is a really popular manga. It is probably it's a new Dandan, right, of the season. No, but seriously, this is probably by far the most popular anime. But it also looks the most interesting, I think, easily, yeah. The mixture of typical action with comedy and so on, right? I read a little bit of the manga, but I'm not going to spoil it in the first chapter. But it's I won't say that this though. It does feel like a pretty stereotypical storyline to me though. How he basically runs a store, right? His old assassin attacks him. He defeats them, and then they start working for him. Happens again. Basically, like everyone working for him is basically old assassin. He recruits after beating them. I've seen the same storyline before, right? Kind of the classic. I'm trying to be a retired assassin guy. Yeah, like that. We've seen a lot of movies of that and so on. So it is what it is, but it's pretty interesting. Like I said, the first chapter is really good. So this is probably the big hit, right? And this is the new animes. Now it is going on Netflix, but it is saying that it's like 1-2 episodes on Netflix, so I don't think we're gonna get into like the issue of Netflix and doing the whole I think they will release it like once per day. Sorry, what do you mean? I think so, but it's always weird when Netflix is the one releasing it. Like something Beastars last week or 2 weeks ago, they dropped the whole season, right? So who knows? It also might be this really weird thing because it says here, right, that it's Japanese streaming on Netflix. So sometimes Netflix will release it only in Japan, and they won't release it actually in Europe or USA or whatever on English until it's finished. So I don't actually know exactly how it would be. What that says here. This is what I mean here. It says streaming in Japan, right? So for me, of course, no problem. I watched it in Japanese, but yeah. So this might be something weird with anime going on there. We'll see next week, but it might be something weird there because, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it might have some weird delay there, where they will like first release it on Japanese until it's completed, right, 2 episodes, and then they will drop it on English. Happens with the older animes. So we will see about that. But yeah, it's a kind of weird thing there. Every time when I think go on the Bleach time frame, no matter. So yeah, so it probably airs on no channel. It's strange. I will see what happens. The Stone, of course, one of my favorite animes. Stone, what can I say? This is season 4, right? What can I say? You've heard about it before, right? Super genius guy, Senku. Rises up in time, right? After everyone got petrified, he wakes up and starts building stuff, right? I mean, I love the Stones. Season 1 is one of the best, I think, Season 1 is really, really good. But I really agree with people saying that it gets worse eventually. I agree with that, because Season 1 to me is one of the best animes of all time, when he kind of starts out, right? And they're just building up new, like, old mechanics and little wheels, and they build a little, like, what's called like in English? A foundry, yeah, foundry, and he has a little quarry and a little gas, so on. Yeah, so Season 1 is really, really good. Season 2, I also love it too, but I do think the critique, though, which is accurate to some extent, that it gets too easy for him. Season 2, I feel it's like, it's pretty good, he had the Sword Wars. But Season 3 is kind of like, I'm gonna be like a cell phone. Like, what? Yeah. Season 3 is already together too easy for him to build crazy stuff. Season 4 is like, it's super war now and all this stuff. But it is really good, though. It is really good. But I also think that the whole mystery, who is behind the petrification, and Season 3 kind of starts going into more like the mystery, why the world had destroyed, right? It isn't like terrible, but I think that to me is as interesting. I am more enjoying the first season, right? And when he's actually building stuff, I'm more enjoying his being the Minecraft guy. It's like how hammering stuff and building stuff. Where in the later here than Season 4 is more, it's more like war. Who's behind this team? We're gonna defeat the evil guy, right? That to me is less interesting than him just building cool stuff. So I think it's a little bit like I love it, but yeah, it's a little less interesting. I feel the further we go into it. Blue Box Sport still going on, right? This is like a romance anime that's already airing then, about two guys, one guy and one girl, but they're pretty sports though, yeah. Which is decent anime, I suppose. Something like that. And now we're getting into the mid tier. Okay, so now, guys, we kind of covered the first 10 or so animes, right? So now we're gonna go into the mid tier. Honestly, really mid now. So it's gonna be like all the Isekai coming. There's gonna be some romance animes. There's gonna be a huge amount of Isekai. So you know how it is. Where's my crying aqua when I need her? Yeah. Where's my crying aqua figure when I need her? Yeah. It's like, no, but you know how it's gonna go now, right? It's gonna be like, oh no, Isekai. Yeah, it's gonna be like a billion Isekai coming now. Let me bring some. Here it is. This is what I need. This is what I need here. Yeah, this is the aqua I need. Yeah, make it smaller. There we go. This is how it's gonna feel now, man. It's gonna be like 10 Isekais coming now. No, but this is so many Isekais, right? So first we have, school romance, which looks okay, right? Comedy romance, cute girl, cute guy, whatever, looks decent. You know how it goes. Like, whatever, looks decent anime. And then it's like, okay, this is a side note here. Gubutani, it's really released actually. This is actually interesting. So, this here, Quintuplets, right? Proper horror anime. But this is actually kind of weird. So I see this one. I see the first one. This is a second special movie kind of thing. This takes place after he's already married to, obviously, the best girl I always want her to win. My best girl that I want to win, yeah. The Gabinator. So this is actually takes place when they're all MILFs, like when they're all grown ups, yeah. This is like 10 years later, when they're all like married and instead trying to score with him for some reason. They're all trying to steal her husband. But yeah, this actually is pretty cool. It's like the quintuplets, 10 plus, like 10 years later, they're all grown ups and trying to still seduce him. Trying to steal their sister's husband. Yeah, it's a weird movie. Check it out, interested. But it's what it is. Anyway, here we go. No, weird. Okay. Romance, My Happy Marriage. Not a very good one. Really boring. Incredibly boring, honestly. Yeah, try to watch it. It's like, historic. It's boring. It's crazy boring. Another boring one. Here we go. Here we go. Aqua. Here we go. Aqua. Here we go. Now we're ready for this thing. Here we go. Aqua. Make them feel sorry about that. So, we're gonna have a bunch of isekais / kind of fantasy, right? Every season has like 5 of these, and they're all terrible. They're always just terrible. There's like, oh no, I was reborn with the worst ability, but actually it's the best ability when I try to do something. It's always this thing. Oh, I was summoned. This guy's like, oh no, he didn't want to be summoned as a hero, but he still became summoned as a hero, and he wants to live a peaceful life. So he gets like alchemy, which is uber powerful, and now he's like, he doesn't want to be a hero, but he's still forced to be a hero, and now he's isekaiing it, and he's like the best isekai guy ever. Oh, great. Oh, great. Then it's like, oh no, the guy with the worst skill, the skill fruit Isekai, and then he gets like the best skill, and then he beats everyone, and then it's like, oh my god, no, it's awesome. This is basically One Piece. They eat fruits to get one power, and his power is like he eat every fruit. So he can eat more than one fruit. So he's like the One Piece guy can eat every different fruit, and then everyone has one per power. So he's weak, but then actually he's the strongest. Oh my god, strongest Isekai. Then it's like, oh my god, no, Isekai girl. She's like, no, the strongest guild master. But then she's like, I don't want to be like in a guild. I want to actually be fighting. No, I want to fighting. She's like, oh no. The best thing is about a girl that works as a guild clerk, right? But she's so bored. She's bored by the everyone being terrible at the job. So she goes out and eventually anime secret. Oh my god, more Isekai. Picks up hot girl, elf girlfriend Isekai. Pretty hot actually. And then Rob comedy. But it's more Isekai later on. It's more Isekai then Isekai. Then Isekai. Guy, terrible skill to view stuff. What if he gets empowered view skill? No, he's the strongest viewer guy because he got the strongest skill of viewing. No, this is like actually Ecchi anime. He's the weakest son, but he's like but actually he's the strongest son with the secret power of this thing, and the harem comes in. I know, more heroes. Isekai. This is actually Isekai again. This is the food guy. He can buy stuff, but he's actually running a shopkeeper's thing. No, I'm kidding, guys. But seriously, we go back up to the other ones. But yeah, like these are all the same anime, you know. This is just like a better animated version of the other one. Yeah, but seriously, jokes aside, this is an Isekai where he's like, oh, I have the weakest power. No, actually, I have the best power. Or it might not be Isekai as a fantasy, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the exact same, you know, setup. Oh no, I have, you know, these two are almost identical in a sense, right? From premise standpoint. And this is like she wants to. This one actually is pretty interesting though. So. All jokes aside, this one actually is pretty interesting. Basically, except she's a clerk, right? And she has a lot of overtime because the adventures are so bad, right? For some reason, there's overtime. So she instead then tries to be she's a secret adventurer, using her incredible powers to defeat the dragons by herself in secret, right? So she can work less or something. So that actually is pretty cute though. And this is just obviously, you know, this is an Isekai as well, but yeah, this is kind of nerd elf girl. So he basically picks up an elf lady for his Isekai adventure, and then they live together. She's like a super hot elf lady that wants to, I don't know, explore Japan with him, and they go back and forth between. He can go to her world as well, right? So. And then here's action to this kind of. So this is another kind of like it's pretty funny actually. So basically, her name is Kawaii, Mona Kawaii. I think it's pretty cute actually. So her name is literally Kawaii, right? With one I instead of two I's then. Kawaii. So she's like Kawaii instead of Kawaii, and she's obsessed with being like attractive and having boyfriends or whatever, right? And then this guy starts a school. His name is then Kuro Iwa, right? Kuro means dark, you know. Kuro is like dark or black in Japanese, right? So he's obviously kind of a moody guy. This guy here, he's like a sad, edgy teenager, right? And she's all like, no, he doesn't want to smash me. I will make him smash me. So it reminds me of Bihugo Gaitara. She's obsessed with making him fall in love with her. So she's gonna obviously like, every guy wants me, and so will he as well, right? She's like, every guy wants to live with me, and I will make him also want me, right? And obviously then she will fall in love with him, but he's the only guy that kind of resists her, right? So it's like a rom-com. But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Biko Gata, so you can find it here. A huge fan, but it's a huge fan, but it reminds me of this anime, Big Biko Gata K, this old anime from like the early 90s or something. Here it is. It's a classic old anime, guys, for old men like me, right? Here we go. So this is very similar, right? It's about this popular, attractive woman that is decided like, oh, I'm gonna sleep with this guy, right? The nerdy photographer guy, and her goal is to have a lot of boyfriends. Yeah, her goal is to have like, I will have 100 boyfriends before I die or something. I will do 100 different guys. Yeah, it's a very, very like, it's a very weird anime about a girl trying to score a lot. But first of all, she has to score with this nerd loser guy, which will be her first conquest, and he's just like all afraid of her. And it's like, why she wants me and so on. It's a classic old weird anime. That's what this anime definitely reminds me of, right? Of like, popular hot girl, and he's like, oh, leave me alone, weird girl, yeah. And she's like, no, I will seduce him. Yeah, like, okay. But anyway, this is just, I mentioned earlier, this is Isekai. Here though, so episode 1 actually already aired, and I watched the course in the thumbnail. This obviously is the best anime this season. This is of course the greatest anime of all time, right? It's about hot elf oppais, yeah. Elf oppais, and that's the anime. Like seriously, if we're into this anime here, let's look at the trailer. this is one of those things where I have to be a little bit. I would have to be. I'll say it. I'm gonna show you a trailer, guys. I see the episode 1 already. It aired 2 days ago. Yeah, but and also it's not censored. Yeah, it's also uncensored. So let's see if I can find something here on you. No, see, this is pretty cute though. They're actually having like the actors dress up as an elf or something. This is pretty adorable though. They're having her dressing up as. But yeah, let's see if I can find a scene here from the episode that we can show on YouTube. I'm gonna make a video about it later, of course. The actual episode 1 or 2 as well. Let's see if I can find something that it's like family friendly enough. Here it is, I guess. Yeah. Do my best, Tom. Yeah, so like, I'm seriously like, how do I show this on YouTube? No, but this anime is weird, okay? Like she's you know, she's naked in the onsen, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen episode 1. It's ecchi, okay? It's a very ecchi anime. Obviously, best anime this season. Oh, here we go. This is what I'm waiting for. This is what I'm waiting for. Okay, this is family friendly enough, right? Yeah. So basically, right, this is the best anime season, right? Basically, Behemoth, you know, the super S-rank monster, right? He dies and he's reincarnated as a little cute kitten, right? Then he's saved by this like super giant elf titties, or I mean elf lady, I mean, and he lives in her oppa basically, right? And he helps her to advance or something. And the whole anime is basically is that this like monster behemoth guy be like, you know, oh no, I'm gonna protect my like giant elf lady. Like as in episode 1, she fights this guy that wants to marry her. He goes in and saves her. He's like, oh my god, my cat is like a magical wise cat. He's like, yeah, that's right, I was a behemoth or anything. And you know, then she has him in her up eyes, and there's a bunch of other hot ladies coming in and so on. So it's this weird, like, it reminds me of that weird, like, you know, I'm the pet, you know, like the guy being her, some woman's dog, right? But here's that, it's like magical, and it's elf up eyes and other up eyes from other monster girls. So it's way better. It's just way better. Obviously, best anime this season. Clearly best anime this season. He lives in elf up eyes. Elf up by the anime, something like that. No, but it's pretty good. If you want that ecchi trash anime, it obviously is. I mean, I was saying it is like the best anime, the writing aspects, or whatever, right? But if you just want some, you know, elf up eyes and you just want to enjoy some, you know, some ecchi jokes, yeah, that is really good though. And it also is, yeah, giga up eyes. It's uncensored too. So I watched episode 1. I have it on my PC actually. I want to show it because it is like straight up, like you see her completely, you know, in the nude and so in bathroom suit. Yeah. So it's also very very ecchi. It's almost like hentai, but it isn't hentai, but you know, it's very borderline. Hen with storyline. Then this is one of the many. Oh, that's Elinasa. Yeah, one of the many isekai trash. This isn't isekai trash though. It does feel kind of that. So basically, it's like this guy has trained these girls, right? And they're all heroes and adventurers, and then they need him to join their party, so he kind of stops being a professor and he joins his old like I don't know, students to be heroes or something. But it has like a weird feel to it though. Like he obviously is like their master, so they all have this like, you know, oh sensei, please teach me stuff, you know. So it's that weird feel to it. It reminds me of like Fire Emblem, you know, Three Houses. They're like, oh, sensei. It's a little bit that kind of anime, right? It has the harem of his, you know, students. But sure, it's been a few years though. You know what I mean? He was their teacher when they were younger, so it's less awkward, I guess. They aren't like underage. Yeah, they're older now. Yeah, so it's okay. Yeah, I don't know, but it's a little bit awkward. It reminds me of Macron. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward, like marrying a teacher. You know, just because you're older. Yeah. It is awkward, come on, this is awkward. But anyway, horror and fantasy basically. This isekai actually seems to be somewhat interesting. So basically, right, we're gonna follow, I don't know, Tonigawa, I guess, if you've seen that anime. Middle management. Like basically, this guy is, how to say it, he's like, you know, he's isekai, right? He's like a normal, you know, Japanese business guy, salary man, works for some, you know, company or whatever, right? And then he dies or whatever, why is, I don't know, who cares? But now he's in the next new world, right? And the demon lord basically hires him to be like, you know, take care of my accounting, right? You know what I mean? The demon lord's like, you're really good at this, the book stuff, you know, with numbers. Why don't you work for me as my accountant, something? But then of course he's gonna run like the Demon Lord's, business or something. So that's just pretty funny, right? Actually, it looks pretty decent. It's obviously a horror anime though, because he got some hot, demon chicks, whatever, right? But he himself is very weak, right? He's like a normal human guy still. Doesn't have any magical powers. He's really good with accounting, right? So he has to like use his intelligence and make them work for him and so on, right? So it's kind of like Dungeon Master or something. He's the DM or something. Yeah, he's the DM, something like that. But honestly, I've seen all the anime had this before though. It's not a new kind of concept, having a guy doing like being rich because of business stuff. I always wondered it actually would work though. You obviously would be able to use some of your economical skills in like medieval times if you travel back in time, but it's not like it really operates like that anyway. But whatever, he's anime actually. Actually, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Definitely. But I've seen similar animes, and also we're gonna have another anime which is even more similar to before, coming soon here. That's just very basic romance comedy. Yeah, I already forgot this anime. This means like Konakasha Nasuki is like I have a crush. It's like I'm in love or something. Yeah, it's just this seems to me to be very, very basic. It's like, two people in love with each other. They look really, really ordinary. I don't know, they look super basic. I read the first chapter like that. I didn't feel it was like, it's a little more adult, it says here. It's a little more like grown up. So that might be better. Like it's, it won't be as juvenile I suppose, but I don't know. To me it's just kind of boring when I read the first chapter. Yeah, it's just like, it's a very, very basic, generic characters. Super basic. This actually pretty good actually. Neat Kunuchi. So neat is not a word in Japanese, right? For nerd, right? Otaku, whatever. Basically, it's like a guy that lives with a bunch of weirdos. Like, he's a guy that lives with, like, honestly, this is an interesting anime. I've seen the trailers and read the first chapter for the video here. And basically, let's show, actually, you know what? Let's go look at the trailer a bit, guys. But basically, right, he lives with these ninja girls. And they're also otakus, right? Yeah, they're nerd gamers, right? So he gets so stuck with these nerd gamer girls, and they're a bunch of idiots, like they're like, Umaru-chan. Umaru-chan. That's what they remind me of. Yeah, they're a bunch of like Umaru-chans, right? With like weird behaviors, and they want to play video games and all this stuff, right? So let's see here. She's like, Hitorabuchi Umaru-chan. She's like a weird gamer girl, nerd girl, right? Just want to play video games and so on. But then they're actually also all ninjas. Yeah, so it's like Umaru-chan if she was like a badass ninja, right? So they have a mixture of being awkward, annoying gamers, like we see her here as well, right? She's like playing Street Fighter and losing the game, and yeah, so they're like super nerdy ninja girls. They love Street Fighter and so on, right? But then of course, and he has to live with this like annoying. She's like this weirdo. He's like trying to eat food. He's like, yeah. So it reminds me a lot of old good Umaru-chan, right? Which is the classic anime. You can find her here. She turns into her like weird monster form. She gets home from school, right? Here like Umaru-chan. Yeah, this is weird little girl that just loves video games and so on, right? So yeah, similar to that, and looks a lot like Butchie. Socially awkward, all that stuff, right? But then also on the same time, they're also like really competent ninjas when they actually have to fight someone, right? Yeah, but then they also fight like demons or whatever, or aliens or something, when they have to, right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty good anime. So I can find some fights in here though. It's mostly obviously a comedy, and then every once in a while they fight some demons or whatever. There are barely any scenes I can find them when they're actually not do some weird ninja stuff. But what can I say? It's a short anime though, so it's only like 10 minutes, I think, something like that. It's not a full anime, yeah, it's like 10 or less minutes, so not that much anime time though, but I think it's worth checking out, especially like Umaru and that. Here we go, this is the anime that I was thinking about, that's even more similar to Isekai. So this Isekai, right, he gets, this I've seen, this is like the second time this I do. Oh god. So this is called Arafo Utako no Isekai no Suan Sekatsu, right? So the guy gets Isekai, right? And he got the power of like Amazon. So he can buy stuff on Amazon. Then he can cook food and so on, buy stuff on Amazon. Which is of course the exact same anime I put up here, just like Tomato's is like Todome skill. So I was looking at it this morning, I was like, isn't this the exact same thing as Todome skill? So I put it up there earlier, I was like, isn't it the exact same thing? Because there is another anime from MAPPA, right, that has that exact same premise of a guy going to another planet, that his power is, I can open up the Amazon browser, and I can order food from Amazon, and I can like make food, and I can make that food and give it to like, this wolf guy, like, and then Fender it, and then him and Fender are bros, then they fight demons together, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how this anime is like the exact same thing. You can open the window, you can turn on Amazon or something, eBay, you can buy stuff, then you can give it to his like wolf girlfriend or cat girlfriend, and she will fight for him. Like, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, seriously. This anime is like, this has already been done, okay? This is like literally, it does sound like, I mean, I love it in a weird way, because it sounds like, if I go back, 20 years in my life, and I would explain, right, to someone that, oh, we're gonna have an anime one day where a guy goes to like this fantasy world, like Lord of the Rings or Narnia or whatever, right? But he got one magical power to buy stuff online, and he can buy food online, and he can feed his food to like monster people, like monster cat girls and wolf girls. They fall in love with him, they will fight for him. That would be like, you're effing insane, right? But now we have 2 animes like that. Well, this is the exact same anime we had 2 years ago. We had this anime. But honestly, it actually looks pretty decent. You know, this sexy, tiger, wolf, waifu, and so on, right? But basically, it's gonna use his, like, buying powers and economy skills to, use them to, instead of fighting stuff, he's gonna, befriend stuff and buy allies or whatever, right? So, but actually, I kind of like Todome skills. It's pretty fun anime, actually. So, yeah, the all these is pretty fun, and this is gonna be the same thing, right? He's not like glory himself and so on. I don't know. I actually will probably check it out though. It's kind of like her design mostly. I feel one of his wives there, but yeah. And I had to admit, the guys, obviously I know what Fate is and all the different Fate stuff, but I have not kept up with all the different Fate stuff for years. I said more the live stream earlier, I think 2, 3, whatever back, right? I don't know, okay? I am not aware of where we are in the Fate universe. I'm completely lost. So I'm just gonna I gave up on that long time ago. This to me looks like a really boring romance anime, honestly. Honey Lemon Soda. Basically, girl with no emotions meets pretty guy. And then she has emotion of, I wanna smash pretty guy. So she wants to smash pretty guy. That's like, whatever. Boring anime, really going. Now, this anime actually I read way back. I haven't read the whole manga, but I have read it when it started, kind of. So, it's actually a pretty old manga. Übel Blatt. Same name as the best girl course in Frieden. Übel. Yeah, Übel. This is pronounced with a Y in German, if you didn't know that. So, this is not you, like Übel. This is not Übel, it's Übel, Y, like a Y. But you say, but not like an E in English. So, the way you pronounce Y, right, in German is Y, like that. Y. So, it's like Übel. Übelblatt, what it says. With this double dot over it, yeah. And not Übel, Übel. Anyway, German lesson over. This, I believe, is a pretty old manga. So I went back and read it again a little bit before the stream here, because I think this manga is written like 2004 or 5 or something. That's why I was surprised too. It's like, wait, does it have an anime? And this is not a remake or anything, but this feels like a manga that could have had an anime like 20 years ago, basically, and then here's the second season, whatever. There's a lot of animes that I have seen coming in the later years that I actually seen, the first version of them, right? For example, Ranma, whatever, right? We had this season, which I love. I mean, I'm a huge Ranma. I love Ranma, freaking amazing. I love Ranma, but I mean, like, this feels like that. This feels like this thing could have it too, because it's like this is like a 20-year-old manga, but actually never had the first anime. So now we're finally here. This manga has an interesting concept, and actually reminds me of one of my favorite games this year, which is Romancing Sega, right? 7 Heroes. I'll make a video about next week, but I have it here. So I can find a good image of it. Hope it works. Yeah, there we go. So a very old video game. That's too big, but whatever. So Romancing Sega. I'll make a video about next week. It's arguably the best game this year. I mean, straight up here. I love this game so much. It's an amazing video game. Like, it seriously is one of the best video games I played this year. And I played, at least 100 video games, new video games, yeah, plus more other video games. But like I said, I will review it next week. It's coming, that review. But why is it relevant for this video here now, the anime stuff? Well, it's relevant because they kind of have a similar storyline, right? So what happens in the Seven Heroes is that the Seven Heroes are actually the bad guys, right? They're called the Seven Heroes because they saved the planet and so forth, right? But they're actually evil, mean bastards because, of course, they got betrayed, right? And then you, as the hero, the actual playable hero, right, the new guy, has to go around and defeat these Seven Heroes and conquer different parts of the planet, right? For example, Robert Quet has conquered like, the Amazon land because she's like a seductive woman. She can take over the land or whatever, right? And this anime, that Übel Blatt, is very similar to the anime, to this old game, released in the 90s, right? Maybe the maybe the author played this game, yeah, where, same thing there, right? You have a guy that saves the planet, but then he's betrayed by his friends, the Seven Heroes, right? And then, time passes, right? Everyone thinks he's dead, right? So now the Seven Heroes all have their own, like castles and mansions or whatever, or land. He then is like, wow, we killed all of them. He travels around the planet and kills the old Seven Heroes, right? So it's a very similar story, actually, to one of the year's best games. And honestly, it's this funny story. It's this funny... I'll say it. The other funny remark on that is that One Piece, right, has been said many times to also be based on this game, actually, right? So again, this is like the best game you see, seriously. I'm gonna read about it next week. It is genuinely the best game I've played in the last half year, right? I think it easily is a better game than, for example, Metamore, released the kind of same day there, JRPG. Fantastic role-playing game. It's so free, it's so hard, it's so hardcore. Everything's great with this game. But it's also kind of funny that for years, I know people said that this game is actually inspiration for the Seven Warlords, right? In One Piece. And then Übel Blatt comes in here, and I'm like, oh yeah, Übel Blatt also has got the same storyline. Like 7 heroes, but they actually are bad guys, and then this main character is traveling around to kill the 7 heroes. It's kind of similar to that. But the game is really good. The game is very similar to that because you kind of travel around and you fight them, and they have different castles and different mansions and different dungeons they have taken over the years. I guess the difference is that everyone kind of knows that Seven Heroes are evil, though. Yeah, everyone knows they turn evil. But it's similar, right? They save the planet. Übel Blatt is like, they save the planet. Him and his friends save the planet, except these 7 guys. Him and 3 other people do. Yeah. So in that story, in Übel Blatt, it's like there are 12 heroes to begin with. And then 1 dies or leaves or something. And then 4 of them, like 4 out of 11, they do the actual good stuff, and the older 7 betrays them, and then they become celebrated. But whatever, I digress. But yeah, Übel Blatt, pretty good manga. I remember reading it many years ago. Like, I was surprised. Like I said, I didn't even have an anime. I was like, what? There's no anime for this show yet? But it also feels like a classic storyline these days, right? The 7 heroes. This classic betrayal as well. But, walking around the world, killing his old enemies. I mean, overall, it is a classic revenge storyline, right? Like, this guy is, he betrayed me. No, I will travel around the planet and find the people that betrayed me, right? But, I think it actually probably be one of the better animes. At least from an actual, like, dark fantasy standpoint, I think it's pretty good. But I don't know the quality, perhaps, of the anime would be that good. Now, of course, we're on the Kenshin, very old school anime, right? I obviously read and seen the original work, right? This is the remake. It's season 3 of the remake, right? Which, of course, is very controversial because the author. Let's not go into it too much here, but obviously the author is, being he never went to jail, right? I don't think the author went to jail. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he obviously got arrested and he did confess to some, peace stuff, yeah. So he's this anime, since then, will be very controversial. Which I think is I think it's a fair controversial for once, right? There's a lot of anime that are controversial, right? But usually it's very overblown. But this actually is the artist is convicted, so he has admitted his fault. So it's not like some random he's innocent or something like that. So it's a classic debate, right? Can you I'll say it? What's it called again? Can you differ from the art and the work or whatever? For me personally, this anime is just like one of the old classic anime I grew up with, right? It's a classic, one of the best animes as a kid, right? But it's of course long before I knew anything about the author, so to speak. So For me, it's kind of different. And if you look at this anime by itself, then I think I haven't seen the full remake. I've seen the first season a little bit. It is very, it's kind of the same thing, less filler, better animation, right? Honestly, to me personally, I didn't find it that interesting to watch the remake because it is just it is the same thing again, right? That I thought as a kid, just better animated. Which I don't know. I didn't find it like super interesting to watch it. But maybe I'm a little bit biased knowing that what the author has been quoted for it. Maybe that also affected me when I tried to watch the remake, right? If I bring it up, because I was like, it does have a little like a wet blanket in your mentality, knowing that stuff. And also, of course, there are further controversy. For example, that Oda, the One Piece author, has defended the author of this anime and so on. But he used to work on this manga, right? I believe Oda's first official work that he was paid for was working on the Kenshin. So of course he's like old friends with the author here, and that's why he's defended the author, and been controversial with that as well, right? But that to me though, I don't want to derail the stream here too much, unless you have a question about it. But I found that to me is very Japanese, so. And I'm not saying that no, I mean like in Japanese culture, it is very much like you don't. Japanese culture is you're very like you don't critique people very openly, right? In Japan, in Japanese society here, it's very much like you have to critique them. You have to allow them to apologize first and so on. It's a kind of shame, shy culture kind of thing, right? Because it's about that, and so I don't know. A lot of people hate Oda, what he said about this author, Ronnie Cash author. But for me, it's kind of like, honestly, I found that to be overblown because, like I said, he worked with him for years, right? So they know each other. And Oda has been asked about this thing then, about his crime, right? And Oda is just like, well, he used to be a good guy, you know what I mean? It's kind of like this typical political answer. Well, he used to be my friend, so he used to be good back in the days. I don't know. Like, that kind of answer is like, then that's very Japanese, right? He's just gonna just say that, I hate this guy or something. In Japanese culture, you very rarely will be like, I distance myself from this person or something. It's gonna be much more like, so he's not gonna say that he's a terrible person or whatever. Very, very unlikely. The whole time working in Japan would be very strange. And now we're getting into the really bottom here. Do I care about all the animes here? Not a Sentai anime. So the Blue Exorcist, I think it's pretty interesting. This obviously, it's not a remake, but what's 10 in between, right? Let me think. I don't remember exactly, but whatever. Exorcist, shown an anime, right? About the guy, he's the son of Satan, right? Or whatever, Beelzebub, whatever. Son of the demon lord. And he raised by his priest, Papa, right? Then he get betrayed, and have to join the evil Isekai world. There's a little bit of Isekai feel to it, right? Because he goes to the magical. It's obviously very similar to actually Irumakun, right? In these days, I suppose. But anyway, this anime had 2 seasons airing, like 10 years ago, which I watched, and then they ended, right? And there was 10 years break then, season 3. So I read the manga, and so I read the manga roughly kind of where the anime is now, I suppose, because this is another season. What is it, 4 now or 5? Right? I think it's season 5 now, right? So to kind of keep going with it. But personally, like I said, I read the manga, and then after this, the 2 ended, right? I wasn't a big fan. I think the manga is like okay-ish, but I felt it was like 6 out of 10. I don't think it was very good. It didn't really like pull me in or whatever. I just kind of binge read it because I already had seen the first 2 seasons, right? So I just kind of read it, and I was like, kind of like that, right? And I don't know. I think the big issue for me was probably mostly their father's backstory. I think it was terrible. I think it was really slow. It was, oh my god, yeah. So basically, Satan's backstory, yeah, it was so bad. It's really, really, it is so slow and badly written, I felt. And the author spent way too much time on that too. That's kind of where the manga was when I read it last time about their father, and it was just like, my god, he spends way too much time on their father. It's like, I don't know, several hundred pages of flashbacks, and they're not very good either. I'm just like, I'm bored by it. And I'm guessing here now then, but I think the anime is roughly somewhere around that point here now then. So I am not excited at all to watch this anime. No, like I said, it is like a pretty mid shonen I felt. Like I understood, you know, in retrospect, I was surprised that it didn't get a third season to, you know, back in the days, because I think it's I'll try to be diplomatic here, but I don't think it's terrible, right? But I think it's a much weaker shonen than, for example, One Piece or Naruto, whatever, right? When it first aired, it aired during those years, right? You know, Bleach, Naruto, FT, whatever, right? Those stuff was airing at the same time, and they're all better this anime easily. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like a pretty mid shonen at best. But actually, I really disliked the Force backstory. I think it was terrible. I completely lost interest in it when I read it. Yeah, like learning the truth. I think it's around the anime probably hits that chapters now, which I think was just the worst. But anyway, Toilet Guy. Now this is pretty cute though. This one was classic, you know, cute girls, rom-com thing, right? Guy Ruse is kind of ish. But not really, they're actually just tan because they're Okinavians. So first of all, people think they're all black, right? In America, this is the Twitter wars. Twitter's gonna think they're all black, yeah. They're like, oh, look at that girl, Spider-Man. They're gonna think they're all black, yeah. This is what every time on Twitter, man, or you read it, right? I mean, it's so much that, you know, dumb thing, right? But every time on you know, Twitter or whatever, when they see a Japanese woman, right, that is not, you know, is crispy white, right? When they're like, you know, have a little bit of a tan. Oh, she's a black woman now. So here, every female in anime is a tan, right? Because they live in Okinawa, which is a, you know, classic island, vacation island, South Japan. So they're gonna be like, oh my god, these are all black people. Yeah. Let's go into the trailer of this anime. Okinawa, and basically the anime is called like I Moved to Okinawa, laid back Okinawa, right? So it's like a rom-com dating anime at Okinawa, right? So you can find some example of how she looks then. Here we go. Trailer 3 should probably be good. But yeah, people, Americans are gonna claim this woman is black, definitely, because she's not like, you know, crispy white, right? She's not like Japanese white. She's like, no, this woman is black now, definitely in American way. But yeah, it's like every girl in this anime is like, you know, tan, right? This is a good image of it here. They're all like tan because. There we go. Yeah, but but seriously, I'm waiting for that anime to be released, and I bet you money, seriously, people are gonna say this girl over here, the second like a Toro. People are gonna say she's a black, right? You know, and the other guy over there, people say, oh, she's also black. This is how it is, right? In American anime contest fans, they think that every female character, they're not crispy white as the guy in the middle, right? They're all black. Yeah, like no, these people live in Okinawa, okay? Okinawa is the vacation hot island, a lot of sun, right? South of Japan's main islands. Japan has 4 main islands, and there's a bunch of other tiny islands, like Yorokoshi Island, so on. You know, so that, yeah, this, you know, this is like a tiny island outside Japan, you know, main Japan, which is hotter and more summery and so on. So they have a lot more tan. But trust me, people are gonna say that these characters are black. Yeah, they're gonna be like, here's my new favorite black character this season. Even if the whole storyline is that the guy moves to Okinawa, right, and all the girls are like super tanned and they're partying girls and it's a lot of beach parties, whatever. The whole storyline is that they're all like, you know, Okinawa laid back party city. Like they still get kind of black. But anyway, this looks like a pretty good anime. It's like, you know, pretty, you know, ecchi, yoki, rom-com anime about going and meeting up these party girls at Okinawa, right? Because the whole, probably the stereotypical, but yeah, you know, there's said to be a little more partying, right? You know, in Okinawan context, right, or whatever. Because Okinawa is more, you know, it's a vacation island, right? You know, it's a party island, basically, compared to, you know, mainly Japan or whatever. But I think it's pretty good, actually. Gosh. Where was we? We were here. Yeah, with all those black people. Oh, here we go. Udichan. This is a pretty funny Isekai, actually. This is pretty funny Yeah, so Oji-san, Tensei Oji-san, yeah, Angelique Oji-san. So this is a pretty funny isekai, right? So old, like old man, old businessman, right? 52, not that old, I suppose, but I have to say though, he could have been older. He could be like 72, whatever. But old, like yeah, salary dude, good guy. Yeah, he dies. He becomes like a hot, rich lady, and it's this really weird gender bender anime where he becomes like this, like oh yeah, a princess basically, yeah. He's stuck as a villain, of course. The typical, I've turned into the villain, yeah. But instead of being like with Baccarina or with a cute girl dies and becomes another cute girl, basically, he's an old ugly guy becoming a cute girl, which is evil. So this, I think, is good. Come on, this to me is interesting, and he's gonna be all like, yeah, I'm the ultimate bad girl. It's like, yeah, I'm the ultimate bad woman now. Come on, this is pretty funny. I definitely check it out episode 1 at least. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. Old man. He's probably a lesbian too, of course. Yeah, gonna smash his harem or something. Then we got, cute girl on gun stuffing, Phantom Trigger, Yokkai's, poor guy, Yokkai's. Ishura is an anime that I never really liked that much. I reacted and reviewed at the first 3 episodes, and it's a bunch of people with different physical superpowers. One is strong, one is fast, and they go to different power-ups, and they fight like giants or whatever, and mechas and so on. But I never really fell for it. I was like, it was okay. I think it was pretty like basic, yeah. And now we're in the bottom here with like, this anime I think is a bit boring actually. Also, it's also adding now samurai storyline, not really interesting, boring main character. I don't know what to say really. This is interesting, another MAPPA anime, right? I've seen every MAPPA anime ever. Sensu, so I like MAPPA, and also MAPPA is good to me, I have to say personally, because I talked to, I know people that work there, and they're pretty nice to me, and they let me do a lot of, in-depth reviews of the show and so on, right? And I've been, of course, on TV talking about MAPPA, so I guess I'm biased here. But, I guess I'm biased. I have to say I'm biased, though, in that sense, because MAPPA is MAPPA is definitely the company that I have the best content with as a YouTuber, yeah, absolutely, to be fair. But basically, right, this like successful animated girl, which can be a little bit then, like I said, meta, right? Basically like a MAPPA worker, yeah. Basically, an employee at MAPPA will be teleported into an isekai, into her like favorite anime she grew up with, kind of thing, right? But it doesn't feel like it's gonna be like a classic isekai, right? If it's a bit different, yeah, and it's not the most basic isekai. So maybe I have high hopes here. It's an original anime, so it's not based on a manga or anything. So we can't say what it's about, but it's like an isekai, but not your average isekai, right? About this animated girl stuck in an anime basically, and maybe she can somehow use her, animation drawing powers or something like in the isekai, because she knows she's stuck in an anime, right? So I hope there's gonna be some kind of meta work on that, right? Oh, I'm stuck in an anime, but I'm an animator. I can use my powers of anime. So it's pretty interesting. And I have a tendency at least to like original animes, right? Original animes tend to be better, rough speaking, because of course when they make an original anime, the animators, right, the studio can do whatever they want, so to speak, right? Whatever they want, but they can do whatever they want, because if you're following a manga, you have to, of course, follow the manga, right? Said they were a light novel, but I would say that animations you should have a lot more leeway on light novels than mangas, though. Yeah, mangas I feel very much are much more, by frame, right, similar. But when it comes to original animes, right, that means that, of course, studio writes everything by themselves, right? So what you usually have is much better paced. But especially the pacing is much better in original animes. Overall, original animes has that strength, right, of like a better ending, better pacing, so on. Because they're not trying, right, to have to end it on a specific note. It doesn't have to be like a cliffhanger, like in the manga, whatever. And obviously it has to end the storyline like 12, 13 episodes usually. So they're gonna have like a clear, journey from A to B, right? And obviously MAPPA has done really good. Somebody else say, guys, one of my favorite of all time, right? It's a MAPPA original. So I think MAPPA has a good track record of original anime, especially with Zombieland Sega then, but also other animes done. So I think this might be a really good anime. And again, Zombieland Sega is an example of a good pacing. Every episode has an ending, so on. There's no filler, right? Because original anime can't have filler because it's all canon, what I mean, so on. There's no like having to add stuff because adding it and so on. So I think the original animes tend to be better, right, at average than older animes. That being said, though, from a YouTube standpoint or whatnot, right, they also tend to be not very popular because they have no fans before it. So it's still happening, but I think it might be one of the better animes. It's probably the dark horse of next season, coming out next Sunday, I guess. So yeah, let's look it out then. But they need good anime. Then we got some classic, hot prince guy trying to smash cute girls, whatever. This actually also pretty good actually. Come out a few days from now. Might be the first new anime except Elf Oppies. So this anime reminds me a lot of these like TV shows, right? Like Crossing Jordan or whatever, right? So or like Bones and so on. So basically, right, super talented doctor, cute girl, which is like the best doctor ever, right? She's like hot waifu doctor lady. She's also the best everything. So she's fixing people up, healing them, or whatever. But also she take care of crime, No, but seriously, this really feels like a typical like a American TV show, right? Where again you have this like super genius, and you should tend to be females. Yeah, it's like several of these shows, particularly female doctors. Yeah, but anyways, a female super doctor, and she's also like, oh, I'm really good at investigating crime and so on, right? And then the police will angry at her. Oh, you can't investigate crime. You're supposed to be a doctor. No, but I have to find this killer and so on, right? But overall, actually, I think it looks pretty interesting. If you like that kind of storyline, but it really reminds me of a lot of those like American TV shows. Yeah, absolutely, with like super talented, whatever genius person doing a bunch of different jobs. Oh, I can use my skills to analyze bones to also find them in the bones. Yeah, who killed this guy in the bones? Yeah, that's how it's gonna be, right? But some pretty interesting, a little more grown-uppy anime. One Piece currently has its own remake, I guess we're calling it, right? And I find it a very weird remake, honestly. Like I have seen a little bit of it, and it looks better, but I don't know why they're remaking like Fishman Island. Someone's calling me, sorry. Just turn off it. Yeah, I don't know why they are remaking Fishman Island at all of the One Piece. Spoilers now then for One Piece. I feel it probably updated probably, but this is the first bit of the after the time skip, right? So that's probably why. So I'm guessing they're gonna like do the same thing for maybe there's Rosa, right? Pancastor and so on, etc. So it does feel like they're gonna do the same thing back and forth, perhaps, right? Like do a little after this thing, they're going back to the main story, right? Like current storyline, and then they might jump back again to like Pancastle, right? So maybe, yeah, I'm guessing here, and because we know, of course, a remake is coming, right? From which studios, they're gonna have this like really high quality, well-made remake, gonna look probably 10 times better, right, than the original anime, 20 years ago, right, 25 years ago, coming, right? But I think that even in that anime, the remake, which would be like completely redrawn or something like that, that anime will probably move very slowly still, right? Because I heard it's also only gonna be like 12 episodes, I think, of that, like the really true remake. So coming to here then, it's like 5 episodes, right? Yeah, it's gonna take them like 10 years to get to this point, right? So that's probably why they start here in the middle. For this remake here, right? This here isn't a true remake, so to speak, right? Because this is like they're making it somewhat look better, but a lot of the scenes are the same, right? So this is more like a polishing or something like that. Yeah, I mean it's not very good. It actually is pretty low rated to be a One Piece, only like 7. Because I mean this is not a remake, right? It's kind of like you take a scene and they kind of add a little bit of color so it looks a little bit sparkly, or they kind of maybe they redraw like one scene, but the other scenes around it is the same. I don't know. It looks very similar. I haven't seen all the episodes, to be fair. I only seen the first 2 or 3, but they look the same basically, with slight improvements. Oh, now Oppas are slightly bigger now. Yeah, they made Nami bigger now. Yeah, but I wasn't joking about that. But yeah, Nami is seriously bigger. Yeah, like they made slight improvement on her Oppas. Yeah, like it feels very similar. I don't know. A lot of people really ask for this thing either. Also, Fishman Island is a very overall one of the least popular arcs probably in One Piece. Shaboya in the beginning, people love that, but after that it's probably one of the least liked arcs. So I think this is very uninteresting. Whatever. But I just want to point it out. This anime, I had to watch it. I think I'm one person to watch it. Too high. So, I love Mahjong. I play Mahjong competitively myself, right, for a lot of years. Still do sometimes, a little bit of money and so on. I love Akagi, Kadi and so on. But this main character is pretty boring. He's no Kadi. So he gets this like hot gyro chick as his like, bonus wife immediately. That's pretty cool though. I mean, who don't want to have a hot gyro chick? So it's pretty decent. But yeah, I think I'm the only person that probably seen this anime. And I don't think it's even getting translated. I want to see the Japanese. I don't think people even. I think there's no subs for this anime completely. I think it never aired in South Japan. I think I check on it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure on that. So I see it only in Japanese. So luckily I understand what they're saying, but yeah, I don't think this anime has any subs, right? I don't think so. I don't think it ever got subbed. It says here like no broadcast. Yeah, so I don't think it's completely like dead outside of Japan. Yeah, no one ever subbed it or anything like that. But I mean, if it was better, then some people do fan subs. You know what I mean? If it was a better anime, honestly, then some people would have done a fan sub definitely. But it is like a mediocre. Maybe it's harsh, but I mean, I like it. I like Mahjong and so on. So I like it, but it's not. But even me, it's like, even though I like the theme of it, it's like it's okay. It's no Akagi, right? But otherwise, I love. Side note, if you haven't seen Akagi, amazing anime about gambling. Bring it up here about Mahjong. This is the best anime about Mahjong of all of them. There are a bunch of animes about, Mahjong, but this is before the best one. Bring that image here. And it's been, of course, parodied thousands of times, right? But, bring up Akagi here. This is about the best I've ever made, Akagi. Yeah, when you play Mahjong. This is one of my top 10 animes of all time, This is a fantastic anime about a guy, it's a genius Akagi player, but that anime is even better though. And I said it many times before again, but you know what I'm gonna bring up now. I said it many times on this channel. I said it like 5,000 times, right? An anime that I love even more, of course. You know it's gonna be, if you know the topic, it's of course Kadi, right? Kadi is even better. So Kadi is the same author than Akagi, and it's about gambling generally, but he gambles every kind of game, Janken, rock paper scissors, and a bunch of other games too, right? So they're both really good animes and mangas. But in Akagi, he only plays Mahjong. You said that other anime too high. They only play Mahjong. It's a Mahjong anime, right? But Akagi instead, they play all kind of different games, and it's incredibly well written. It's like the best. This is usually I usually say Akagi is my favorite anime of all time, right? So it's like this is the best shit ever. And while on topic then, so I was bringing it up to. Lastly, on this topic of gambling anime, because this is my favorite genre of anime. So, as you might get it, yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite genre, right? There's so few animes in this genre, but these are the best on. And of course, lastly, One Outs. This is the best anime of all time. One Outs is even better than Kadi, I think. It's about baseball. They only play baseball, but it's a masterpiece about Ecchi. And obviously, you sit here on YouTube, you see this as my guy, right, on my thumbnail, currently on YouTube. When I do the stream here, the symbol I have, right, for my avatar on YouTube is currently, Ecchi, right, from, of course, One Out. So this is my favorite anime of all time. Basically, he only throws either fast or slow balls. So it's a binary, 1 or 0 kind of strategy, right? But he's such a good guy at understanding what people are thinking, so he can trick them to always do the wrong thing, and even only throws 2 different balls. And it's a fantastic anime about how human brain works, and psychology, and gambling, and thinking, and projection. And it's amazing. It's the masterpiece. I love it so much. So when I looked at this anime, then go back to Tohai, right? I mean, for me, yeah, it's like I said, I love this. Is my favorite genre, gambling animes. I love it so much. But this is like not the best one, but it's okay, it's okay. But yeah, it's no Kage or it's no One Else. It's like it's okay. So I watched it, but I doubt anyone has seen it. But like I said too, right? This is also had never been. I don't think it has been subbed at all. I want to, so. I'm probably like the only YouTuber that's seen it, basically. So I watched it in Japanese. But anyway, now we're in the bottom here for some rom-com, Conan. Yeah, this is also an anime goes right now. some random Pokemon course keeps going forever. Gonna make my daughter ice skater. I actually read the first reported. That's a cute anime. We're at the bottom now, basically. Here, like the children's sound now. We're at the bottom of the. Oh yeah, this one, yeah, Bamban vampire, like hot, attractive vampire guys trying to eat hot guy or something. This popular lately. Yeah, it's like Twilight. What more is it this season? No, just children games. Okay, let's go up to. Yeah, the rest is boring, right? Yeah, there's just children animes. Bam. Do we have any movies this season? I don't think there are any movies that I think that are coming right now. They have a Gundam coming. They actually might be interesting. Okay, so we have on the movies. We got like a new Gundam movie. It's a re-edited old version. Damn it. Movies are so boring these days. Because I feel most movies are just like, oh, this is a re-edited version of that thing, and this is like, this is most movies are, right, these days. It's just like, oh, we have taken this anime, and then we have, this is like, oh yeah, cross-dressing, like re-edition version of the anime. Yeah, like, there's almost no new movies anymore. The only new movie is this PA Work movie about Miku, the Hashine Miku thing. This is the only like original movie. The rest of the movies are basically like, editing of old movies. I played Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer did that, right? It was way too popular, and everyone doing the same thing. And then OVAs, I think it's only Beastars. That is the only OVA I think that's interesting. It's gonna be a typical, like My Academia OVA, some fan service or whatever, right? But only OVA otherwise, the show, so to speak, is Beastars, which had an ad, of course, a few weeks ago, which I of course went to, which I liked a lot. Yeah, I love Beastars. I think it's one of my favorite animes. It's a great anime. Now, of course, I probably did like season 1 the most still though. It's a little bit of sunken cost fallacy, but I do like Melon though. Yeah, I want to spoil too much here, but I really like the new bad guy, Melon. He's a cool, he's an interesting character. I love how it ended, the cliffhanger. It's a really good cliffhanger. So I think I like it more than most people. I don't know. I really like Melon. He's a great character. Yeah. But this will be one more part then. Right? This is like the first part of season 3, and I think that the last part will air next year, probably in spring, probably. And it'll also probably be dropped on Netflix like a whole season, right? Like they did that part 1. So, but they haven't announced part 2 yet. But they probably the same thing. They probably drop like all the episodes in one day, right? I think it was a good season. I think it had some great moments. But there was some parts too that was pretty boring. Like he's the Walrus guy, the big bat. And he's like, water and love is everything. And you're like, this guy, man, got a pacifist. Got a boring pacifist Walrus dude. Like, life is just life, and you should eat everything or something. You're like, what? Yeah, this guy was like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys. Anyways, let's quickly go over some of my favorites then, okay? My favorites that I think are going to be the best ones, right? Obviously, Solo Leveling is a pretty good anime. Like I said earlier, I think it is somewhat overrated, honestly. But I still think it's good, right? It's kind of like Demon Slayer, where you're like, I love Demon Slayer, right? I think Demon Slayer is a great anime. But Demon Slayer is either is hated by people because it's so popular, so they have this like hate for it because it's called like the whole they go on full circle on being contrarians. They hate it, right? Or they love it way too much, right? And I feel this anime is kind of similar, where I feel like either people like they think it's the best thing since sliced bread, or they hate it because the other people love it too much. Yeah. And I'm just being like kind of audience being like, I like it. I'm just trying to be like, no, I like it. You guys are just weird. Both of you guys are weird. Yeah. I think it is a good anime. I don't think it's the best anime this year. I don't think it's over, but it's somewhat up there, right? So I think it's gonna be one of the better animes coming. And if it is now, absolutely. Obviously, Zero is my number one. Obviously, you see the thumbnail. You see my blue hair figure that I have somewhere for some reason. Obviously, Zero is best anime of all time. That's obviously my favorite and coming part, whatever you call it, part 2 since we're there. Alpharata, terrible anime. I really love 100 Girlfriends, right? It's a fantastic horror anime. It's really highly rated here, actually, popularity-wise. Because people that saw Swan, it's like, my god, this anime is way too good to be horror. Yeah, Jesus Christ. This anime is actually, I keep saying, it's one of the best horror ever made. So this is, for me, is definitely the top tier next season. I never that's the one, but to go whatever. This is obviously the new top tier. Sakamoto Days, let's say, obviously the best new anime coming. This is clearly the winter season's like top new anime, right? Because the rest of them were like sequels, right? So of the new anime, obviously Sakamoto Days is number one. The Stone, I mean, I like it, but it's like season 4, part 3. It's like, I mean, you like it, keep going. This to me looks actually very basic. I don't know. Rom-com. This actually is a pretty funny movie because there are MILFs now. Boring. And then a bunch of isekais, with the goddamn same storyline. Oh yeah, this one actually with me is the most funny, where she's trying to be a guild clerk, but actually she's badass in secret. But that being said, though, there's a lot of these animes too. Usually with the female main character, where they're trying to not be badass, right? But they have the actually strongest, highest level damage, and they're trying to hide that they're basically Batman or something. That is very common though. So actually, it's pretty tropey that it's a woman that's super good actually in secret. I've seen it mentioned before, Isekai. So, but still though, pretty cute. Probably like, I am the hottest girl. You have to love me. Most basic generic trait ever. And this, of course, Elf op Ice. Elf op Ice! Like I said, episode 1, I'm like, yeah, Elf op Ice. But this anime is cute, man. But this anime for me is like, this is the rating. How is it only like a 7 on IBM or something? This is clear 10 out of 10, guys. Like, either this for me, right, is a complete trash, right? Either you love it because it's like a ridiculous storyline about a guy becoming a tiny cat and then lives in the cleavage of giant elf titties, right? So either you love it because it's a goddamn like ecchi hen anime, right, which is like super borderline ecchi and it's just ridiculous and it's just funny. If you want that kind of ecchi trash anime, it's 10 out of 10, right? It's like a super hilarious, sexy jokes, so yeah, it's super fun, right? Or you hate it because it's like some kind of, super ecchi joke, yeah. For me, I honestly, I never understand these ratings. It's either it's a 0 or a 10, right? Or it's a 10 out of 10. Because, except, either you're in the mindset, do you want to see absolute trash, right? Absolute, like, only sex jokes trash anime. Or you hate, or you don't want to see it all, right? And I think the same thing, honestly, I find the exact same thing with a bunch of, kind of like comedies, right? Stuff like that too. For example, completely maybe you think it's whatever, but I watched that with Red One, right? The new movie with The Rock, and Chris Evans was. I watched that movie last week during Christmas, right? New Christmas movie. And I think it's like a really good movie, okay? I'm not saying that Red One is like this, like, oh my god, life-changing experience. It isn't like Schindler's List or something. It isn't like some ideologies. But Red One, to me, actually, I think it's a good example of an anime, a movie then, that I think has like a really bad rating for actually being so funny. I think it was really funny, they played it straight, there was good action scenes. But obviously, again, right, when you're watching Red One, it's a movie where The Rock is the main character. He's an elf guy, and you have to get in there with the mindset, right, that it's The Rock, and it's going to be a lot of action scenes, it's going to be super jokes, and it's going to be some, op-ice or whatever, yeah, it's going to be some ecchi scene, right, some reference to sex or whatever, yeah. Like, you're going to get that, right. And if you have that mindset, you go into watching Red One as, it's not going to be like a life-changing Christmas movie, but it's going to be, a kind of a high-steel, funny Christmas movie, right? Then you're going to enjoy it, right? Or you go into the mindset of being, the boy, this is like action and boob jokes, boring movie, right? It's very binary. Either you have the mindset, which might change, right? But I mean, usually that's how it works for me. And I think this anime here is actually like Red One. Either you have the mindset, there's going to be a lot of elf titty jokes for like 10 minutes, right? Or you hate that stuff that you want, oh my god, it's a fan service anime, you know what I mean? Same thing, I think it's like, for me this is like genuinely a 10 anime, because as long as you have the mindset that I want to see some ecchi hentai jokes, okay, this is the best anime this season, right? Like, it genuinely is a really good anime, if you want that, right? But of course, it's not an anime that you will, 10 years from now, and someone asks you, what's your favorite anime? You're going to say, oh, it's an elf oppa anime. No, you're going to say some other anime, you say Kadio or whatever, right? It's never going to be your favorite anime, because it has like no lasting impression on you. But it's a really good, like, what's it called again? Guilty pleasure anime. Yeah, you're watching it. Oppa joke. Yeah, you're watching it. Okay, it's pretty good. Yeah, but I understand his rating. Honestly, I hate people. I don't like people hating anime. But also, like I said, Red One. I watched the movie right after I had some reviews on it. And I was like 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. I was like, what people wrong with people? I enjoyed Red One from the first minute to the last minute. But again, it's like this anime. Like I keep saying, I'm not gonna tell anyone 10 years from now, Red One with The Rock, best movie ever. Christmas movie, best ever, no. But I'm gonna say, oh, you like The Rock? Well, have you seen Red One? It's a pretty entertaining movie, 2 hours. Yeah, okay, it's like, yeah, it's a fun movie, 2 hours, right? It's not like, it won't last you. It's like whatever, Fast and the Furious. Yeah, it's a good, popcorn movie for 2 hours. Yeah, it's like, but I think it's funny. A lot of people hate anime. Before they even aired, people were hating anime. Oh, it's too ecchi, blah, 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 so on, right? Got prudes, right? Yeah, prudes. But no, I personally like it. There's almost every season we have a funny ecchi anime like this, that I can enjoy it, right? If anything, there are animes like Dandan, for example, are weirder. Dandan is very weird, right? Dandan added, of course, this season, and that's a weird anime because it is a weird anime overall. It's very strange. Then it also has these weird ecchi moments where they suddenly are naked or whatever, and got into a lot of controversy over that, right? But those animes I feel are weirder, where they have this like really weird ecchi jokes in the middle of the storyline. Best of it probably is Fire Force, right? And everyone hates the Fire Force, and I do too. I mean, I like Fire Force. I'm actually excited to see 3. I think Fire Force is very underrated, but the reason why I call is because of that scene. The Fire Force has season 3, right? Season 1, with Tamaki, where he suddenly has this super sad betrayal scene. She's crying, and then he grabs her oppies. Yeah, and Hong Kong, it's a super weird scene because because her bad luck power makes him fall into her titties, and you're like, what is happening? Yeah, that anime is just like, what's happening? If you have in this anime, right? If her elf oppies has their own gravity, like Tamaki, you wouldn't be like, oh, this is weird. You'd be how I expected. You would be like, this is what I expect, yeah. But in Fire Force, you're like, this is so weird. Yeah, this is so weird, right? This is what I mean with the mindset, right? Fire Force is an anime, but even if you've seen the episode up to that point, you don't expect them to have like a crying scene turning into an ecchi scene. Yeah, it's like super weird. Yeah, super effing weird. So that's also why it doesn't work, right? That's why Fire Force doesn't work either, because even with that being a thing in the anime with her bad luck ecchi power, you still expect it to be that bad, that stupid, right? It's like shockingly stupid. Yeah, you're like, what is happening? How did I get here? But anyway, lastly, that ecchi good Isekai crap. Lastly, this anime, I think actually be pretty funny, right? I mean, I love Umaru-chan, classic anime. This probably be pretty fun, short joke anime. And then lastly, where is it? I think this looks pretty good actually. Okay, Übel Blatt, I think it's pretty good too. Kind of old school dark fantasy, also pretty good. And then lastly, I want to go down, of course, to Okinawan Girls, yeah. Which, it's like a typical rom-com party anime. Guy moves to Okinawa, I mentioned earlier, right? And it's a bunch of, thirsty Gairu-ish characters. So they're like, yeah, it's a party, bro. And it's gonna learn about partying, right? It reminds me also of an anime, of course, what's it called again? Blue? No, okay, what's it called again? Where he goes to the drinking club in the water. I see it up in front of me. Oh my god, my brain is frying now. What's it called again? Blue, help me out, chat. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what's it called again? Anime, the driving club. Grand Blue, just like blue something. Yeah, like Grand Blue, yeah. It does remind me of Grand Blue, so that Grand Blue is more crazy probably. Yeah, Grand Blue, whenever everyone, he owns like the diving club, yeah, Grand Blue. It's also like Okinawa or something like that, right? Yeah, something like that. And he goes to like the beach. But I think Grand Blue is also Okinawa, isn't it? Yeah, and he goes to like Okinawa and parties with like college girls at Okinawa and go diving, This feels very similar, honestly, but they're, a little less alcohol probably involved. But they seem very similar. He goes to Okinawa and there's a bunch of like party girls. So they're like, yeah, drink, go and party with us. Yeah, it seems very similar. Just that Grand Blue is kind of extreme, right? But and didn't Grand Blue have 2? Start the stream, guys. Didn't Grand Blue have a second thing coming? Obviously I've seen it, right? I will react to it, yeah. Grand Blue and 2. I think Grand Blue has sent to announced. Let's see, 3 months ago announced. What's the date? So I don't see the date, I can find it. Oh yeah. I don't see any date on it though. When is the end of it? Yeah. No, I don't see any date on it, but here we go. The tweet. Here's the tweet on it. Grand Blue Season 2 announced. But yeah, there's a game coming. But it doesn't say a date on it though. No, to Season 2 next year. But yeah, the anime fits similar to Grand Blue, right? Partying at Okinawa, yeah. But yeah, one of that's coming. Gonna check that out. That's a weird anime. Oh yeah, okay, lastly, I do like villain. I do like animes with the Otome villain though. Otome old man villain. That sounds pretty good to me though. But that's it, guys. That's the live stream. What do you guys think? What's the best new anime coming next season, right? So I'm gonna do the top 10. Right, I'm gonna do that this week. Probably finishing that this week. I haven't decided actually yet which I think are the best anime this season or this year rather. If I tell you that right, yeah. So yeah, next week top 10 guys, come up with that, right? Like I said, I haven't decided yet. It should be Bleach. It's a bunch of it should be a bunch of shonen animes, brain dead shonen animes. No, but the way I do it is that I usually structure it like the way I do it. I think is the best method how to do like a top 10 of gaming as well. Is that I take them per season. So the way I do it, what I do is that I take like every anime, right, that aired in the winter last year, 2024 or this year, but I mean the first now, yeah, last year, so to speak. And I take them, right, and then I actually structure those animes. So I do like a top 10 of those animes, right. And then I do a top 10 of like the next season. So I basically do their structure, right. Then I take like the 3 or 4 whatever best per season. Like something like the 3 per season. That's 12. Then I order them like a bubble sort of in between each other, right? So first I gonna pick out who's the best per season. That being said, obviously, arguably, all 10 animes from one season might be the best anime in 1 year, right? Never happened, of course, but it might happen. So you can. So it's not like I have some kind of. It has to be 2 animes per season or whatever. That's not my point. But I think it's a good way to like order it by trying to like compare it like that. I think we do the same thing with gaming too, where I start with like, okay, what's the best game in January, best game in February. So I don't know. I take this like top 10 very seriously. I go for like with video games, I can go per month instead. Then right, I say this is the best game for this month, this is the best game for this month. Then I compare like the best game of January to best game of like February, and say which one is the best, and then March, then do that, and then like sort them out like that. So something like that, right? But yeah, so I'm working on that. It takes me for a while actually. It takes me way too long time to do my top 10s because I actually really sit down and think about it. But I think it's a good way to do it because you really get a structure about it. And that's why I kind of honestly hate some and order whatever top 10s or whatever. Because I think people are just willy-nillingly just think about it, don't care about the mechanics of it. No, it's just silly. But that stuff, talk about Romans Sega 7, right, to speak. Other games I want to do. I'm also gonna make another game video about that. So last week I made a 1-hour video about how it's to work right in the game industry and why it's so left-leaning, or rather how it's to work in the game industry when it is so left-leaning. So my follow-up video, which might have been my first video thinking about it before, is to say why is the game industry so left-leaning, right? So next video is gonna be like a explanation of why it is like that, right? Which I think is gonna be interesting video, guys. So I'll be excited for that because that'll be an interesting, I think, very forthcoming video. Which I think will be educational, so to speak. Might be very good thing about because that's something you have to question in life. Why is something like this, right? There's usually more interesting why than how, right? Like why it's happening for. So that's gonna be the next video on that topic, which I think is gonna be a good video and a good discussion part, right? And a good follow-up on my last game video, because it'll be very connected to each other. Lastly, I put it out here. I did read last One Piece chapter, and they did eat lingonberries. So I was gonna make maybe a short video about that, literally a short one, because I love lingonberries. So they mentioned that lingon, as it's called in Swedish. They did mention that in the One Piece. I think it's interesting. So I asked my mom to send me a lingonberry stuff. So you can buy it in Sweden everywhere, but it's hard to buy otherwise. So even with master, Jesus Christ. So yeah, last of the chapter, the new MILF character was named Ripley, right? The mom to Colin, the Viking MILF lady. She gets the lingonberries from like her cousin or whatever, the aunt or whatever. So this is lingonberries. So I make a video about it. No, but I put it out here. I might make a video about it if I get the lingonberries from my mom. This thing here. So lingonberries are basically these like sour berries. They're very popular in Sweden. That's a good point that in One Piece that Oda has semblers, all right. But this is much more popular than sembler, lingon. It's just called lingon, not lingonberries. So it shouldn't be called berries in One Piece there. Mistakes by Oda, whatever. And the same thing in Swedish, and it's called lingon, right? Straight to taste like us. It's a sour taste to it, and it's used to, you eat lingon mostly with meat. So typically then, the Swedish meatball, right? The typical, very popular Swedish meatball, potato, brunsås, and of course lingon then. That's where you find it the most, like with meatballs. But also other kind of meat dishes. Another very common thing is blood pudding with lingon and potatoes. So it's like a blood, like dried pig blood with lingon. Also very typical Swedish dish. And much of that. So lingon is very, very common used. And you can also eat it with as a jam. So last time I was at my mom's place. We had some food there one of the evenings. What did mom make now again? She made some meat dish. What actual meat dish made it? Oh yeah, there was like sjömansbiff. Yeah, she made like sjömansbiff. Sjöman is like sailor meat. Sjöman means sailor in Swedish. She made like some kind of like sjömansbiff then. It's like sailor's beef or something. And then she was like, we need some lingon, right? But she didn't have lingon at home. She had lingonberry or lingon jam instead. Right? Was pretty common then. So you could have a jam. She had bought then. So I asked her now then, after the One Piece chapter, she just had me some lingon, which I might have later this week then, for some One Piece video. But like I said with One Piece, whatever, like, you gotta ask your parent in your home country and stuff. Yeah, give me some lingon or candy or something. That's the most common thing I feel you ask for. Julmust. Julmust and candy, no, but I like lingon a lot. And it's something you want to eat more. It's freaking awesome. But mistake to call them lingon bears, unfortunately, in the chapter, because the real name is just lingon, right? Lingon bears is called in English. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. It's kind of like the canute all over again. But yeah, so I say that here, guys. A side note. As soon as I saw lingon, I was like, lingon bears, man. I need some lingon. I need some lingon. Oh, here it is. This is probably what my mom will send me. This thing here, like lingon sylt, lingon jam. See if I find it here. No, that image didn't work. Something like this. You get it in like a. When you get it in like a bottle. This is a shop, so I can't I don't know if I can work this maybe. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is probably what should be. Yeah, like a jam right now. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's an educational last bit here. What is that latest part of One Piece? This is what it is, of course. This is what she got. Ripley got basically. Lingonberry jams. My grandma used to make it myself. My grandma loves to make her own jam and stuff, like krusbär jam and so on. Det är also okay, last thing here in Sweden. Krusbär. That's something I've never eaten outside of Sweden. So I don't even know what it is in English. I have no idea what it is in English. What is it in English? I'm googling it here. I'm going like Wikipedia here. Ribbas uva crispa. Yeah, this is something you've never eaten outside of Sweden. Oh yeah, called gooseberries sometimes. That you recognize now, gooseberries. Yeah, so gooseberries is something you basically only eat in Sweden and Scandinavia generally. But it has a really weird name, Ribes uva crispa, krusbär. They look like this. This is my favorite berry in Sweden. And my grandma loves to make them in jam. So we had them in our garden growing, and then grandma would make jam of them. These things called krusbär. They're super sour, like incredibly sour. You eat one, your whole mouth like. Argh! But if you're used to it, you love it, right? Yeah, it's super sour, it's very soury and very. Yeah, it's a weird taste to it. And if you eat them unripped, they are incredibly. It's a weird taste to it. But basically, I like to eat them a lot, and my grandma would make them into jam then. Krusbärs, yeah, krusbärskräm, so yeah. But